crazy, crazy game of cricket. I mean, I think we saw the best of both teams, but eventually maybe there's a new force in town and they're just known as the Delhi Capitals.
Have we started?
I said, no, I'm just asking you off the cuff.
Oh, I thought that was because it sounded like it was your intro, and I was like, I'm sitting here scratching my balls.
No, but I mean, just generally speaking.
Yeah. I think the thing that I had forgotten is that because Shreyas Iyer has been out for so long, how important he is. And, even if he hadn't made runs in this game, but just in general, you think that they're just a much better team when he's there. So, yeah, you can certainly see how they've been missing that. And I suppose they've been focusing on, Rajasthan are missing Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer, and obviously Andre Russell's been missing, Kolkata's last couple of games. But Delhi have been this good all year without Shreyas Iyer, and he's obviously an exceptional talent. And you could see straight away the difference that he made to that team. And they were already good. Now they look better.
Yeah, now they look indeed brilliant. I mean, you can't really pick the bones out of their performance. I mean, if we have to, then yeah, you point a finger at Ravish Khan, brilliant from him. Akshay Patel chipped in, Anrik Nokia. Ashwin chipped in with the bat, funnily enough, not with the ball. So, I mean, Ricky Ponting would be a happy, happy man. But from a Mumbai Indians perspective, what does it mean for them, Jarrod? Because at the end of the day, you look at their fixtures in Rajasthan and Hyderabad, they need 2 thumping wins to stand a chance to go through.
Yeah, I mean, they still have that chance because they're not playing good teams to come. And, Rajasthan, obviously, 5 changes in their last game. They're throwing everything they can at the wall. Mumbai are, and we don't know what Sunrisers are going to do, let's be honest. Mumbai are still in this with a chance. The net run rate is the problem, realistically, because everyone's going to end up on roughly the same amount of points. So that is going to be a problem for them. So you're right, they're going to have some big wins. I thought that they would have to be disappointed with that, I think. This was a game that they had a very good chance. They were probably in charge of it for most of the second innings, weren't they? And they just couldn't break through. They didn't bat particularly well, obviously, either until the second half of their innings. I think they'd just be disappointed. I think if they played even slightly better in this game, I think they come away with the win. And they haven't managed to do that. And now they've, thrown themselves back. They were masters of their own destiny, and now they're going to have to rely on other teams and other results.
Absolutely, because at one point in time, you thought it's the old Mumbai Indians because everything was going right for them. Nathan Kultanar getting Smith, Krunal Pandya, of course, getting rid of Prithvi Shaw, and Shikhar Dhawan, funnily enough, run out for the 16th time in his IPL career, which is the record highest, joint most with Gautam Gambhir, which is a stunning stat, by the way. But we'll pick the bones out of predictions right now. But before we go further, I want to, of course, ask the fans to subscribe to the cricket.com YouTube channel. We've got a lot of subscribers, and we really appreciate it, love. We're nearly hitting 11K, so get there and get in with all the notifications and whatnot. Predictions. Let's see how Jarrod fared, because...
Well, you just talked about one of them. He ran himself out.
Yeah. I mean, why? Who knows?
But I'm going to get me started. Let's talk about runouts for a minute, right? So,
yeah. Do you think? I don't think it looked out initially.
You didn't think it was out
initially, and then of course it was.
Here's my problem with them. You have the power play, so you have the fielders up. So you're trying to maximize the power play at that point. The best way to maximize the power play, of course, is to get a good, get a good matchup and try and take that matchup. There's nothing in Shikhar Dhawan can score, boundaries. There's absolutely no reason for him not to face them. If you're going to take a risk in the power play, your risk should be on scoring a boundary. There is almost nothing to be gained from hitting the ball to the fielder's right hand and taking off in the power play. And we see players do it again and again. I mean, David Warner, for all our talk about how out of form he is, he's run himself out twice, I think, in this tournament, and maybe ran someone else out as well. It's ridiculous to be able to do that in the power play. If you're looking for twos and those sorts of things, I think that's really good power play batting. Singles is just such a complete waste of your time. I would honestly rather a player blocking out, I don't know, 3 dot balls, and then if the other 3 balls try and hit boundaries, than I would to see the way that players do this. And
So
that
basically a Gale.
Yeah, well, the Gale style, but there's lots of power play batters that go into, in with that sort of thing. I actually don't even mind chipping the ball over the top and looking for 2s and 3s and all those sorts of things. But they're going for singles. It just seems like a silly thing to do. It's a silly waste of resources in T20 cricket. And we see teams do it again and again. Let's be honest, they crawled over the line, Delhi. It was a really good win, and they should be very pleased with themselves. Shikhar Dhawan makes 40 off 30 in that game. And it's game over. They win easily, right?
Yeah.
Like his wicket was an opening that they didn't need. He's the second highest run scorer in IPL history, right? He doesn't need to be taking that kind of risk in a low scoring game. I don't know. Does my head in. Anyway, what's the predictions?
Yeah, I mean, I completely sympathize with you and all the rest of the Dhawan fans out there, because situationally, he shouldn't have gone for the run. It was against Kieran Pollard. He kind of milked the over of Jayant Yadav already. Completely agree with Jarrod there. Let's skip on with the bowlers. And there were a couple of men that I mentioned, I should say. And Avesh Khan stands up because 3 for 15. I mean, the ball that he bowled to Hardik Pandya was a snorter. And you know what? He's actually now hot on the heels of Harshal Patel, Purple Patel. 26 wickets is what Harshal has. And Avesh now has 21. A word on the youngster, because he's, of course, going from strength to strength.
Yeah, he's good pace. He's uncomplicated. Yeah. There's a lot to like about him from if you look at some of the other guys, so Prashid Krishna, a lot of talent, tall, does a lot of things right. There's a lot that feels like can go wrong with his bowling though as well. He's not quite in control of himself. Avesh Khan looks like someone who's like, this is what I'm going to do. Very modern, sort of almost like a Siraj or Pat Cummins type of bowler. They don't get massive sideways movement, but they get a little bit, and they bowl at such, good pace that they're always keeping you, they're always giving themselves a chance to dismiss you. And they're always they're not giving themselves a lot of chance to be hit. I just think there's a lot to like about him as a bowler. And to be honest, I've been very high on him for a while. He's got better maybe as the season has gone on. But even early on, he's looked like a good one. Delhi have made a lot of very good recruiting when it comes to their younger players.
Yeah, their scouting has been phenomenal. And a classic example, like you said, is Avesh Khan. And he's got some key wickets at key times. Rohit Sharma today, Hardik Pandya. He got Virat Kohli, I think, earlier in the season when they took on RCB. So good on Avesh Khan, and hope that continues. Finally, winners prediction, of course. Both of you all called right, surprisingly, because even though Mumbai lost, many people were actually backing them in this. It was Delhi Capitals who eked out a win, and then Ricky Ponting with that meant that Delhi got the Q next to their name. What does this mean for Delhi going forward? Can they, of course, play CSK? Is that inevitable? CSK DC is a top 2 clash, or do you see RCB sniffing about?
Honestly, if the only team I could see that would upset that is probably Kolkata. Rather than RCB. I mean, I suppose it's possible that Delhi or Chennai get caught out by sort of the Maxwell, AB de Villiers middle order, which is very possible. But I think a fully fit Andre Russell and the way that Kolkata are playing at the moment, they're probably the best chance of a spoiler team. But both of those teams have strengths and weaknesses. And I think everything would have to go right for either RCB or Kolkata to make the finals. CSK just looked like the most balanced team, and I'd be shocked if they didn't make the final. And DC, I think just, with Shreyas Iyer coming back in, just look a complete class above every other team. So those are the two most obvious teams. And, I would have to say at this stage that you'd be looking at about 65% chance that those are, well, maybe even higher, 70% chance that those are the two teams in the final. I think a lot of things would have to go wrong for one of those teams to not make the final. A lot of things would have to go right for another team.
Yeah, I did go wrong for Mumbai, and it could go wrong for KKR against Hyderabad on Sunday. We'll catch, of course, all of it on cricket.com. We'll catch Jarrod for his last stint with cricket.com against, the post-match, I think it is, for RCB Punjab Kings. So we'll catch him then. But until then, it's a goodbye from us, and have a great weekend. Keep subscribing, keep liking. We'll see you soon.